for her.
Test.
I just texted her. So, I mean, she knows about it, so I'm not really worried.
Test. Test. 1, 2, 3.
You got me too. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3. We can start the speaker without that. Without what?
Test.
Yeah, oh yeah, that, yeah. Oh yeah, no, we're good without that. Yeah, that's going to be.
The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association presents Trackside Live. Trackside Live is presented by the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center. Now let's go trackside to the Delaware County Fairgrounds and your host, Frank Froz.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Trackside Live in our speaker series. I'm Frank Frost, and I want to welcome everybody to Jug Day. Finally, it is here, and we're looking forward to it. Our guests today are Casie Coleman and Anthony Beaton. Casie is one of 3 women trainers to win the Little Brown Jug. She didn't win it once, she didn't win it twice, but she won it 3 times, putting her in a group of only 6 to win 3 or more jug titles. She's trained for 25 years, but now is the principal behind Westwind Stables. Anthony is off to a career year. He's won over 10 million. He went over the 10 million career mark for earnings earlier this year, and has topped $2.8 million in earnings in North America. They are the connections for 2 of the favorites in today's Little Brown Jug, Nijinsky and Legendary Hanover. Please welcome Casie Coleman and Anthony Beaton. Thanks for joining us today. First off, Casie, tell us how you got in the business.
Born and raised in it. All I've ever done, really. My mom and dad are sitting right in front of me, and they train for a living too, and just all I've ever was taught to do, and just kept doing it.
Was there ever any thought that you would do something else?
Not overly, no. I pretty much stayed straight in the horses from the get-go.
Anthony, how about you?
I kind of grew up in it as well, with hanging out with my brother and that at home, and he was involved in it, and so I kind of got the love for it right there.
What, when you got started, you were, I read, going just to visit him, and was it just the love of the horses and looking after the big brother and following it that way?
Yeah, I loved hanging out with the horses, and I enjoyed it as a kid, and as I got older, we always wanted to buy one ourselves, so we did that, and then I moved to Ontario, and I was going to stay there for a couple of months, and it's 20-some years later.
As I asked Casie, any thoughts of ever getting out of the business and doing something else?
Not really.
All right. Casie, you began training in 1997 and trained through 2022. There was a stretch of won over 100 races, 10 of 11 years. You're not training anymore, though, except breaking the babies, right?
Yeah, for the last 2 years, I've just picked them out as yearlings, broke them, trained them, and then been sending them to Anthony for the last 2 years. I live in Wellington full-time now, sold my Canada house, and I absolutely love it in Florida. I hate leaving Florida. Anthony worked for me for, I don't even know how many years, I 10, 11, 12, it was a long time, and we know each other pretty well, and he had his own stable running, and I said, you know what, you got room for a whole bunch of them, and he did, and so far it's worked pretty good.
Now, trying to stay hands-on, breaking the young ones, what do you look for in a horse when you're buying one?
A lot of people ask me that. It's very hard to explain. I don't even know how to say when I see a horse, I know it. Like I will say with my champions that I've got, it's like the first time I see them, it's just something about them right away. Like one of the best ones I've had, I'll never forget telling, I was looking at yearlings with Andrew Harris at all the farms everywhere, and we couldn't find nothing, and finally I said, this year I can't find anything. He didn't come with me to Fairwinds Farms, and I found the horse betting line. And I texted him, I was like, he didn't come to that farm. I said, I just found an unbelievable horse. This thing's a complete creature. I must buy it. And it was betting line. But it's just when you see a real good one, just something about it. I don't know. They got to have a big ass, sharp head, big shoulder. I don't care how big they are. People, like anybody that goes and looks at the horses, you'll see Nijinsky is not that big. He's medium size. And Legendary's huge. He's a monster. So I don't care about their size at all. They have to have a long barrel, though, big ass, big shoulder, sharp head, smart, big throat, things like that, good conformation.
But isn't it the heart, though, of the horse sometimes, and you can't really tell that, can you?
If we could know their heart and their lung size, that would be absolutely fantastic. But there's no way to actually know how big their heart is and their lung size when we're buying them as yearlings. But if there was, yeah, that's, and if they have a brain in their head, if we're able to know that when we're buying them, that would be fantastic, too.
Do you like this side of the business more than when you were training?
It's both different. Like I'm still, like I said, right now I'm still do winter train them. Anthony lets me give my input. He probably gets sick of me texting him and calling him, but he lets me give my input at what I think on a few things. So it's not like I'm completely not doing anything with them, but it's different. But I will say back even when I was training, I had a large stable and I had a lot of assistant trainers. So even back then, I wasn't doing the actual technical training on the track and all that kind of stuff too. So to me, it's changed, but it's not changed like a dramatic amount.
Anthony, how did the partnership between you and Casie begin?
Well, I got laid off from one job because we got my own horses. Anyway, I asked Casie for a job, and she said, "Can you start tomorrow?" So I waited till Monday, I guess it was. We started then, and I spent, I think it was 10 years or so working under her, and then I just decided to go out on my own, and it's been a good partnership, though.
Was that a scary moment when you decided you were going to do it on your own?
Not really. It just, I was going to try it, start with a couple of horses, and if it worked, it worked. If it didn't. We'd figure out something right, and it just snowballed from day one, and it's been great.
What type of worker was Anthony?
Oh, he was very good. Not saying that just because he's here. He was a very good worker. He can't even remember him missing a day. He never. One thing about him is in the barn, he liked getting everybody else in trouble, and he never would. Usually,
he put up with a lot.
But always real quiet. Like, you can never, like, even when he was mad about something, always he's a quiet guy. But no, we always got along great. We hardly had any disagreements about much stuff, and everything was good.
What type of boss was Casie?
I can't answer that. No, she was pretty good.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to talk today about the Little Brown Jug when we return to Trackside Live from the Delaware County Fairgrounds right after this.
At Ohio State's Galbraith Equine Center, our veterinary champions are here for your champions 24/7, 365 days a year. Our expert team of boarded surgeons, sports medicine and rehabilitation specialists, together with veterinary cardiologists, internal medicine, and ophthalmologists, make our hospital your best resource for all sport horse performance issues. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center's Galbraith Equine Hospital. Call us today at 614-292-6661. The future is bright in Ohio. Ohio Sire Stakes, Buckeye Stallion Series, 66 county and independent fairs. Whether it's the Ohio Sire Stakes, the Buckeye Stallion Series, or the county fairs, Ohio has a place for your racehorse. This year, Ohio breds are racing for nearly $23 million in stakes purses. Be part of the winning. Breed, buy, race, win in Ohio.
Welcome back to the Delaware County Fairgrounds and Trackside Live, joined today by Casie Coleman and Anthony Beaton. Casie, you've won this race 3 times. What was it like to win that first one?
It was unbelievable, yeah. The first one here was Michael Powers, first horse that I raced in the Little Brown Jug, and just, I always, as a kid growing up, just remember being in BC, watching the race, thinking you wouldn't even ever be at it live, let alone race in it. Just to be here and just watch it was one thing I always dreamed of, and here you are. I was still young back then and watching this horse race, and yeah, it was unbelievable. It was the first time I brought Scotty Zeron. Was just a kid from Toronto back then. Nobody knew who Scotty was all that much in the U.S. then. I believe it was his first United States race, I think, and to come and win it was pretty amazing for sure.
You won that one as a trainer. Your next 2 wins, you were part owner. Was it different?
Well, definitely the paycheck was better. No, definitely the paycheck was better. But no, all of the jug wins were absolutely awesome, and they all had different meaning. Like being the first one was absolutely amazing, being the first one, winning it here. And I'll say my mom sitting right there groomed Michael's Power, actually, so that was pretty cool that she got to be her first jug and groom him. And then the next one was Vegas Vacation. With Vegas Vacation, actually, Anthony, his wife Lisa, my bookkeeper back then named April Campbell, they all owned a piece of this horse. So when they got to bring this horse and come and be an owner and win the jug, that was very special too. That horse was special to the barn just because all these guys owned a piece of the horse also. And then Betting Line is just one of my favorite horses ever. I still think he's one of the best I've ever trained, and the performance he put on, he was just an absolute monster and destroyed him. So every one of them is just a different meaning, but they're all pretty awesome.
How many people have made it down for this jug?
There's a lot of us coming. I think we're trying to count out how many people are coming in that. I believe there's about 23 total on my side, and then Anthony's got like another, how many's on your side? There's
12 to 15 or so.
We're going to have half of the VIP tent filled over there. So yeah, a lot of us will come to support the boys today and see if we can have a good day.
Anthony, what would winning the Little Brown Jug mean to you?
Oh, it'd be very special. Every win's nice, but like one like this is just will stand out, I think.
Does it ever get old?
It's hard to get old.
Except us, right?
We just keep getting older.
To win the jug, you have to go 2 heats. Many owners, many trainers skip the little brown jug because of that. Anthony, what are your thoughts on 2 heats?
It's obviously tough on the horses, but I think we have them trained up and ready for it and fit enough to where they can handle it. So I'm not overly concerned with these 2 boys.
Do you train your horses for a 2, do you change your training regimen, let me ask you that, at all leading into the jug because you're may have to go 2 heats?
No, we kind of just kept everything as simple as we could, and the same has been working all year for us. So.
You've done it before. What are your thoughts on 2 heat racing?
Yeah, same. I say all the jugs I raced in before, well, 2 of them, Anthony was with me. He was the head assistant trainer with 2 of them, so he knows exactly how we did it. And yeah, the way that I train him, and he pretty much trains the same way as me, it's not much to change. You pretty much keep doing that. They're fit. They've got their miles in them. They've got lots of slow miles in them, lots of jog miles in them. It's basically, at this point in the year, it's later in the season, it's more or less than keeping them healthy, sound, fresh, more or less than changing your training. You just want to keep them sound, healthy, and happy.
Anthony, what do you do if you qualify for the finals? What will you do between the heats to the horses to get them ready for the finals?
We wouldn't do an awful lot, really. Like, we'll just make sure they're okay afterwards, and just make sure they get a little bit of water and hydrated again, and that. But there'd be nothing really too much change in between.
Now you've got the 2. You've got Nijinsky in the first heat, Legendary Hanover in the second heat. Do you guys have a favorite? And I'm not talking on the track. I'm talking in the barn, personality. How are they different? And is there one you like over the other for their personality, maybe?
Who you asking?
Either one. So, he's around them all the time. You know. All right, Anthony first.
Myself, I don't really have a favorite. Like, they're both very cool horses and great personality. You walk in the barn, like one's at home. We got 2 sides to the barn, and like you walk in and like Legend's got his head out, like wanting you to go say hello, and you go to the other side, and Nijinsky's got his head out, and he's like, come take a look at me. You know, like they're both very personable horses. They're both cool animals to be around.
Casie?
Yeah, same as Anthony said. So where my setup is in Florida, I actually have them, they're right in the 2 front stalls right beside my office, and they're right beside their barn mates. And yeah, they're always, both their heads are out, they're always sharp. Ninja, you always got to be careful that he doesn't do something to himself, because he likes being a little terrorist in the barn and ripping his blankets and bandages and ripping, he's done lots of different dumb things to himself, but they're both good feeling horses, sharp. If anything, you just want to make sure they don't bang themselves up, because they're always feeling real good. But I think both the horses have a very good chance coming into today, and I don't know which one to tell you I pick over the other one. Like, they both got their different racing styles, different racing strategies. They're both coming into the race good. They both got great drivers. Whoever gets the better trip.
Do they know how good they are?
I think so. I'm going to say yes.
I really do think so too.
Nijinsky has won 9 out of 10 this year. How is he different, Anthony, from his freshman campaign when he won just 1 race?
He's just so much more mature this year as a 3-year-old. Like, he was a very good horse last year at 2. It's just, you had to be very careful with him off the gate, and he'd make mistakes. He seemed like he wanted to go fast now, and he just would overpace himself and make mistakes. And where this year he's just so much more mature and grown up a lot, and you can do anything with him.
Legendary Hanover's won 4 6. What makes him so special?
He just don't get tired. He's got a huge set of lungs, and once you get the big guy rolling, you just let's roll, and he can carry his speed a long way.
On the track, the 4-hole for Nijinsky, you've got the 3-hole for Legendary Hanover. Draw post position going to matter to these 2 horses at all, do you think?
post always matters here, and I was very happy to see that we had an inside draw. I'm always a superstitious person and scared of the draws, thinking like I've drawn a lot of outside posts in my lifetime, and you don't really want to draw the outside here. But no, Tony texted me right away and said we were 3 and 4, and I was thrilled with that. Very, very good draws for both of them.
Do you have a plan that you will talk to your drivers about winning the elimination, or just getting in? Do you have a plan, or do you just let it play out the way it's going to play out?
I let them guys do the driving. Like, they're the professionals, and I don't want to be accused of being a driver.
All right, well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to have a few more questions for the two, and then we'll ask the studio audience if they have any questions for Casie and Anthony when we return to the Delaware County Fair for Jug Day, right after this.
When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out: Big D's. Since 1976, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at bigdweb.com for fast shipping. Most orders ship that day. Or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.
With more than 300,000 horses in Ohio, the economic impact of the equine industry in the state is over $2.8 billion. Much of that value comes from standardbred horse owners, breeders, trainers, and drivers who participate in the sport of harness racing. The mission of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association is to preserve, protect, promote, and serve the entire standardbred industry in Ohio and beyond. To learn more about the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association, go to ohha.com. That's ohha.com.
Welcome back to the Delaware County Fairgrounds and Trackside Live, our speaker series. Frank Frost, joined by Casie Coleman and Anthony Beaton. A couple quick questions about your two horses. How would you compare the two of them, Anthony?
It's hard to compare them. Like, they're just both great special animals, and like, one guy's like a big locomotive engine, and the other fellow's like a sports car.
Okay. How do you think they will handle the half-mile track here?
I don't see it being any issues. Like, I blew them out here the other day, and they both seemed to handle it very good. So I was happy the way we were going into it anyway.
Well, this is a family affair here. Casey's parents, Linda and Phil, are here. You said your mom groomed Michael Powers. Is it great having them around?
Yeah, they worked with me for, I don't know how many years you guys were with me, but Mom took care of Michael's Powers, first jug here, and they said they're going to come up and support Ninja and Legend today.
Besides having a great horse, what's it take to win this race?
It takes a lot. Like, you jug day, like, it's post position, which we got already on our side's good. The horses have to be sharp, healthy, happy. We got that. We got good drivers. It's luck too. Like, half-mile track, anything can happen. You need luck on your side. You need a lot of things to go right. But I'm feeling good with the horses and the team behind them, and I feel confident with. I wouldn't want to trade my two for anybody else right now. I think we're in a good spot. So we'll see if we can have some luck on our side.
All right. Ashley Daly has the microphone. Do we have any questions for our guest today? There we go.
Hi, I was wondering if, do you guys Magna Wave any of your horses?
Yeah, they get the Magna Wave quite regularly before they race, like usually a few days out, 48 hours or whatever.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering because the reason I ask is my granddaughter just got out of high school and she bought one, but she does a lot of show cattle and she wants to do horses. What benefit do you think it has a standard bred that it would really help? What kind of problems would the standard bred have that the Magna Wave would really help, in your opinion?
The lady that does it for me up in Canada, she usually tells me, like, when she puts it on the horses, she'll let me know, like, this horse knee might be bugging him a little bit, maybe go to the vet and get that addressed, whatever, and like, she works with me that way, and but it's very good for their muscles and everything.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Right there in front of you, Ashley. Gentleman right there.
Casie, how happy are you that Tony didn't gild Legendary when he got him to Canada?
That what again, sorry?
How happy are you that he didn't geld Legendary when he got him up to Canada?
Oh, well, Legendary was never one of the ones in the problem. I knew he had no shot he was able to geld Legendary, but on the other horse, Nijinsky, I many times through the winter as a 2-year-old, I wanted to train to geld that horse and he did show it as a 2-year-old, as you've seen, as multiple times he made breaks and didn't mind his manners, and just, I do think a gelding might have made a difference on him back then, and I told his last training in Florida, he made a mistake, and I wanted to geld him, but there wasn't enough time before the ship. I told Anthony, as soon as he's over the ship, whenever you want to geld this one, go ahead. He's fast as hell, but geld. Yeah, but, and he didn't, and I'm very thankful he didn't geld him. And then, even saying all that, even after his 2-year-old year, I was still going to geld them, and I like to keep them jogging after you geld them, so I turned him out. I said, as soon as I get him back to Florida, I'm going to geld them. And his manners, he grew up so much. He had a brain now, he's smart, and I'm so glad we didn't geld him.
When do you realize if they have a brain or not? Does something just click with them?
Yeah, let's say some right away, a good way or a bad way, if they're smart or dumb. He just was so full of himself. Like, he just was very, very steady. He was very immature as a 2-year-old. And I remember telling Anthony all winter when I'm training them down, I said, we already know how good Legendary is. Like, we know what he is, and he's training back great. And he's this, but I said, the difference is this Nijinsky. And all winter I kept telling him, ninja, like how this horse is training. He's a different animal this year, because he was always so fast. Like, every start Tony raced him as a 2-year-old, he'd come home 25 and a piece 26, but he'd be so far out of the race because Louis had to be so careful with him. Now you can do what you want with them, so it just made all the difference.
Talk about your 2 drivers that you've got driving today.
Well, Anthony made the choice on them at the beginning of using them. They weren't, I didn't use James much when I was training myself. I used Louis Waugh a little bit, but Anthony was using them, and it's like James, he's listed on every horse in the race, and you're just lucky to get him now. He wins everything. So top driver in Canada, so we're very lucky to get him, and Louis Waugh, extremely good driver, and I like their colors.
Any other questions? No more questions?
I don't know. Casie, earlier on you were talking about confirmation of a champion. Have you ever had a yearling come through that you had high hopes for and it just never panned out?
Oh, many times, yeah, many times. There's obviously, we're only talking about the good ones here with the good ones, but no, many times there's been horses that I was extremely high on, and once we got going with them, they just didn't do what we thought they would do, and you definitely get your disappointments too.
When did you know these 2 were special?
Realistically, these 2, honestly, not being big-headed or nothing, but right from the get-go, they were, right from the start, they showed they were extremely talented. Legend showed what he was the whole time as a 2-year-old. He was great. And Ninja obviously had his issues, but we knew how talented the horse was. And I will say on Ninja, some of my owners, they were great with me on him, but when I was staking him this year, and I staked him very heavily, he's in pretty much everything, they're like, okay, we like the horse, but we got Ontario Sire Stakes, there's good money. What are you doing with this? Because we spent a lot of money staking, and they were great. I said, listen, he's training great, we're going to stake him, and they're like, we don't really need to take him to these races, and because he had so much in Ontario, but anyways, we staked him heavy, and so far, knock on wood, it's been working pretty good.
So far, they're happy with the decision,
Yes.
aren't they? So, well, that's good. Any other questions? All right, well, with that, we'll wrap up our first edition of our speaker series today. Casie and Anthony, best of luck today. Hopefully, we'll see you in the winner's circle twice. 3 times.
3 times.
3 times. 3 times, yeah. Get the love. Thank you very much. Well, that'll do it for our first speaker series. Please come back and join us in about a half an hour. We'll be joined by Roger Houston, Gabe Pruitt, and Wendy Ross as we handicap the racing today here at Jug Day in Delaware. We'll see you shortly. Thank you.
This has been Trackside Live. Trackside Live is presented by the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center. Trackside Live is a production of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association.